Yo, 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 yo. Welcome everybody. Hope everyone's going well. Say good day in the chat if you guys are in here, if you can hear me. Hope everyone is having a good Wednesday night. Thought I'd do a live stream again because I had no video for this week because things are slow. Things are slow. We've had some nice weather though the last little bit. If you guys have noticed, the weather is starting to change a little bit. It's been actually really, really nice to have some warm weather come in for this time of year. G'day Ben, welcome man. Thanks for tuning in. G'day Peter, g'day Jordan. Thanks guys for dropping in here. Dropping in here. Jordan says, do you actively monitor your soil temperatures? I don't actively monitor them. I'll check them every now and then. Most of the time I check them on the Bureau of Meteorology's website because they actually do a test in Orange quite regularly. Although I should check more often at home because we're a little bit warmer here than they are in town because we're about 200 meters difference in elevation. G'day, who we got here? G'day James, what's happening man? Willoughby, nice to have you in here mate. Yo, welcome Turf Man. Welcome guys. Welcome. If I don't pronounce your name, I apologise. But I hope you guys are going really, really well tonight. Nice to have you guys here. Today we're just going to chat about springtime coming up. We'll check about renovations. We're going to chat just about anything grass. You guys ask away and we'll just chat about it. We'll see what goes on. We might play that game that we played again last week just to fill in some time. But we'll keep going here tonight until about 7 o'clock. I hope you guys enjoy it. But please ask as many questions as you like. I'd love to help you guys out for this upcoming lawn season. Cool. Alright, let's look at some questions, eh? G'day from Tamworth, g'day Stuart, hope you are well. How toey does it make you that next week you can say it's springtime next month? Not that toey, bro. Gotten used to it year after year. Okay, I got Willoughby. We've got a question here from Willoughby. What's your suggestion for broadleaf weeds in Santa Ana? So a couple of options there, man. If you got broadleaf weeds, something like bow and arrow is probably going to be perfect, to be honest, which is what I applied on my lawn last week. Bow and arrow, or you can use something like some Dicamba M. They are all available on my website, lawntips.net. Yeah, and that's probably what I'm going to be looking at, my man, to get on top of those broadleaf weeds for you. Perfect time of year to be getting on top of that as well. I actually sent out an email today. Let me know if you're not on an email list and I can include you in it, but sent an email today just talking about weeds and getting on top of them before we do renovations and before springtime. Mick, ex-Dabo boy here. G'day from Mildura in Victoria. G'day Mick, hope you're well. Harry says, what's the best thing to get rid of winter weed? Depends on what the weeds are, man. If you're looking at winter grass, it's going to depend on your grass type. And if you are looking at broadleaf weeds, same answer as what I had before. Bow and arrow is going to cover most of your broadleaf weeds. Good morning from Great Britain, mate. Appreciate you tuning in. You're a legend. Here's a good one. How do you stop your neighbour's dog from crapping on your lawn? There's many ways you could. Honestly, man, I don't know. I've heard people using that citronella spray. It can work. Not super great. Heard people using like pepper and stuff as well. I mean, yeah, that's probably the way I don't know, man. That's a hard one. Catch them in the act is probably the only really way. Like, there's not many options you got. My guy, that's kind of frustrating, to be honest. I feel for you. Right, what else we got here? Right, let's read this one from Fair Dinkum Simo. Let's just move this question up a bit so we can read it. I'm almost finished with my build. The soil is a bit on the clay side. Is taking out 400ml and putting nice topsoil sufficient? Or should I think about subsurface drainage? Depends on how wet it gets. Old Simo, you shouldn't really have to put any subsurface drainage in there for a home lawn, to be honest. Unless it's really, really boggy and it all falls to a certain area and you just got these big boggy patches everywhere. But 400ml is going to be way enough for that to drain really, really well for you. And you shouldn't have any problems with that much soil in there as well. So I think you're going to be fine. I mean, generally I recommend people, if they're putting turf down or some seed down, 100ml of topsoil or some sandy loam or even some sand is going to be great because it's going to help with your drainage. Also let those roots shoot down nice and deep as well. So you're going to be sweet, man. I wouldn't be too stressed about getting some subsurface drainage down, unless you're having really big problems with it being a bog hole. Did a spray and die can, but it hasn't affected at all. How long did you spray it? That would be my question, because this time of year it does take quite a while for it to come in. So you're looking at about, I'm going to say probably about 2 weeks to see any die off. If they're really, really mature weeds, that may be your problem. So you may need to do a follow-up spray. Sometimes it takes a second hit as well. Make sure you're sticking to the recommended rate as well on top of that. But yeah, that's what I would recommend for sure. Alright, what else we got going? What are you guys up to? Jason from NZ, welcome man. I had a shocker and dropped a boat trailer wheel onto the rye lawn. Bummer, bruz. That sucks. Any tips on the best way to repair the area and raise it back up? The grass look okay. It's just sunk down. What I used to do, get a pitchfork in there and just pry it up. That's a really, really good way to get on top of it. And then, man, if it's ryegrass, the thing is, if you want to get it back with top dressing, you'd have to top dress it and overseed in that area. Otherwise, try and get a pitchfork in there and pry it back up. It actually will work, believe it or not. Right, hey mate, Cooch versus Kaiku. You're reseeding backyard this spring and leaning towards Cooch, but I can't get tiff tough here in NZ, so options are Highlander or Hollywood. I'd still go the Cooch, man. Cooch would be my preferred grass type. Sorry to you Kaiku lovers out there, but just love how much finer the leaf is. You can get it so much shorter, and it just repairs uber quick as well. And just looks pure once you get it nice and tight and looking really, really good. So yeah, personally, Cooch, if you can find a hybrid Cooch and seed, even better. Let's see how you go, mate. See how you go. Alright, Ben, what's happening, mate? Hey, mate, what should be used to deal with clover weeds in a 3-month-old laid Sir Walter? I would go with some bow and arrow, mate. 3 months old, you can honestly go full rate because you're going to be rooted down enough there. And it should knock it pretty quickly, to be honest, man. I mean, this time of year, as I said, could take maybe 2 weeks for it to get going, but for it to kill it. But bow and arrow is going to be safe for sure. Which I'll chuck a link in here for you guys. I've talked about bow and arrow about 5 times now. So I'll chuck a link up. So this is bow and arrow here. I'll chuck it in the chat so you guys can see that. And if you also want to see it on my website, see if I can get the right screen going up here. Here we go. This is some bow and arrow here at lawntips.net. So great for all grass types. It's going to be sweet. You're not going to have any problems with any burn or anything. And well, unless you've got really, really warm season and your lawn is a little bit stressed and you haven't watered it for a bit and you put some of this herbicide out, it can burn Kaiku and a couple of other grass types as well. But generally, you're going to be pretty sweet if you stick to that, to doing it while your lawn isn't stressed out. Alright, what do we got? Thoughts on wintergreen Cooch? Man, it's awesome grass. I actually haven't had an experience with it, but I've seen it in person. It does look very, very nice. Hey. Alright, see if we can see any more questions here. If I do miss your question, make sure you're at Lawn Tips me, because there's a few questions coming in, so I may miss some here and there, sorry. But let's keep looking. Oh, is this the same bloke as last week? Bought a Swabman 2 days ago. Wife doesn't know yet. Is this the same Justin as last week? bought a mower and then his wife told him to send it back. It can't be. Cannot be the same dude. What are your thoughts on spraying at night? Go for it, mate. Not going to be a problem at all. Honestly, as long as there's not rain coming in the next like 24 hours, you're going to be sweet. Not a problem. Thoughts on the current Tahoma 31 fad? I have not tried any of the grass, mate, so I can't give you an honest opinion. The guys did actually reach out to me and ask if I wanted some, so having a look at that moment, we may get some on a tee box, and then I can show you guys what I think, or maybe in the trial plot. I'm not really sure, but I'd love to try it out. Like, why not? But I don't really have too much of an opinion on it. I mean, new Cooch grasses that come into Australia do seem to go through a bit of a fad phase, but hey, it's something new. That's just what happens when new things come out. And they get marketed as well. Peter N. Got some winter shade spots that have a layer of moss. It does flake away when it gets a chance to dry out. So yeah, It'll be because of it's just cooler months and you're getting shade there as well. You can actually knock it with a liquid iron, something that has some iron sulfate. So believe it or not, my enhanced product can actually be used to get rid of moss and even algae as well in your lawn. So I actually use this on my golf green to get rid of a bit of algae in there, a little bit of moss. So this product just here, some enhance, because of the iron in there. Got quite a high rate as well. Got 10% on top of that. But yeah, it's just this time of year. It's very, very common to see those sort of problems. G'day, the chilled travellers. Thanks for dropping in, saying g'day. Appreciate yous. What's Peter saying? Sorry. Oops. Should I treat it pre-spring or let the spring sun deal with it? I mean, you can do it either way, man. If you're not worried about it at the moment, don't be too stressed. But if you get on top of it before spring, it'll give your lawn to creep into a chance to creep into those areas. So then it can be bare spots throughout the season. So it may give you a little bit of a head start as well. Tristan, how you going, mate? I just foliar sprayed both Bailey's Grow and Boost. How long till I should see results this time of year? Depends on, I'm not sure what's in that product, to be honest, mate, but you should normally see with liquid fertilizers results in 2 to 3 days. Even this time of year, you should see a little bit of a kick in colour and a bit of a change as well. When it's like summertime, you could see it in 24 hours easily. Chris, thoughts on putting Barricade out now / soon, averaging 10 to 12 degrees overnight and 20 to 22, during the daytime, mate. You could be getting very, very close to putting it out. I'll be looking in the next couple of weeks, especially when I prevent those things like summer grass, which they call that crabgrass in the States, even paspalum as well. I've got a spam call coming in. Should I answer it? No, I won't do that. Might be good fun though. Yeah, so I'd be considering it, man. You could look in the next 2 to 3 weeks, honestly. You could look at putting it out. I wouldn't be too stressed right this minute, but you're getting very, very, very close. Especially if they're consistent soil temperatures as well. We have just had a slight little bump up in the temps over the last little bit. Daniel, I have an old sand pit which the kids don't use anymore. Can I use the sand to drop dress my buffalo this spring, summer, or is it too risky? As long as it depends on what the kids have left in here. If they've left in there, if they've used anything or you've had any chemicals in there, I doubt you have because the kids have been in there. Technically, you could. Honestly, it probably wouldn't be that big of a problem. And if you're only doing a little area, I mean, if it was me, I probably would. So yeah, you'll be fine, mate. As long as the kids haven't had a ton of bubble mixture poured in there. But in saying that, if it's been there for ages, it would have been diluted by now anyway with rain or any other thing like that. Julian, getting smashed with frost here in Armidale. Same here, mate. We're getting frost every day at the moment, and they've been thick boys as well. They've been like ridiculous at the moment. Absolutely crazy. Joe B, what can we do about Poa annua? Got some mesotrione, I think that was meant to say, from the US, but I'm struggling to get on top of it. Well, I can't recommend using that product because it's not actually registered to use in Australia. But honestly, the best way to get on top of Poa, which is wintergrass, for you guys that weren't quite sure what that is to get yourself on a pre-emergent program. So applying it at the end of August or start of September, and then also applying it about when autumn starts, the end of summer. So you're looking at around about the end of February, start of March, maybe the middle of February if you're starting to cool off a little bit quicker. And using that for 1, 2, maybe 3 seasons in a row, you really find that will minimize your Poa because it's going to stop those seed heads dropping down in there and germinating constantly. So getting on a pre-emergent program is going to be so much better and more effective than actually using post-emergent herbicides because they're going to keep coming back. That's just the way it is. Alright, what else are we going on? I have half Kaiku and half Buffalo. What do I do? Hard question, man. If you want to have just one grass type, you'd probably be better to get rid of the Buffalo because that's going to be easier to spray out because you could use something like Dicamba M to actually knock it down, whereas it's not going to really be able to get Kaiku out of there selectively as easily. So I'd lean towards the Kaiku if you want to have just one grass type in there. Oops, I've lost heaps of messages here. Sorry, guys. Just going to scroll through quick and have a look. Ben Foley says, what's the weather been like? Because in Wagga it's been nice and sunny. Has been nice here too, man. Had a really nice couple of days. Been loving it. It's been so good. G'day, John. Got John Wick's little profile pic there. Welcome. G'day, Josh from New Zealand. New to the grass game. Have recently put down some tall fescue lawn. Beautiful, mate. Any tips heading into springtime? Mate, keep mowing it regularly. Water that thing properly. Don't let it dry out. On top of that, try to find yourself a slow release granular fertilizer that's going to last you 12 weeks. And also look at possibly putting some liquids out once a month as well. That's really going to be the best thing. Make sure you regularly mow. Get fertilizer out every now and then. Water it properly. They're going to be your best things to get your lawn looking schmick for this season. Then you can dive in deeper in the long term. But that's what I would start off with, especially with a new lawn. You may see some weeds come up here and there. I'm not really exactly sure what's available in New Zealand. I'm pretty sure they got Canberra M over there, which is fine on tall fescue. But hopefully you don't get any weeds and you can just tick along this season and get it looking nice and lush. G'day, Scott. Welcome in here, mate. Good to see you. Julian says, is it too early to fert on frost-damaged buffalo getting sub-zero overnight temps? I would hold off, man, until we start getting some warmer temps if you're still getting sub-zero and you're not getting any active growth in your lawn either. It's when you sort of see... You're going to be looking at towards the end of August when you start to see some green shoots pop through. Might even be the start of September. It really depends on your climate because you might be even in a microclimate in your area as well. But yeah, hold off. No point of really putting anything out or you're just going to be wasting product at the moment. But we're getting close. We're not far off. 3 to 4 weeks and you should be really starting to think about it. Kiwi Lawny, thoughts on applying a sticker surfactant with a foliar feed at the same time as you would with the herbicide to improve its efficiency as it does with the herbicide, or not much difference? There's not going to be too much of a difference because they're taken up so well anyway, in the way liquid fertilizers are designed is they're supposed to be taken up and stick to the leaf quite well anyway. But I haven't really tried it. It may work well. I know some guys like to mix wetting agents with liquid fertilizers because they find they see a little bit of a difference, so that's acting as a surfactant as well. I've done it in the past and I haven't seen a huge difference personally. I'd have to look into the actual science behind that and see, maybe do a test of 2 different spots, 2 different plots and see the difference. But you can do it. I mean, test it, mate. It's not going to be a problem mixing them together. Always do a jar test beforehand though to see if they're going to be compatible together and they don't like separate or make a really thick paste. But yeah, if you did put wetting agent out with a liquid fertilizer as well, make sure you water it in about 4 to 5 hours afterwards, so you don't get any burn. Because wetting agents can burn if you're not careful. You just got to be careful. G'day, Suzuki Man. What's going on? How do you like the duck deterrent ideas on Facebook? They were great, mate. Need to get some sort of scarecrow or something out there. Although, as I said last week, the ducks have slowed down. They really have slowed down. They only did a couple of poops on one side of the green this week. So, hey, don't know. Maybe the Kool-Aid is starting to come back through. I have no idea. Who knows, man? Ricky, what's happening, mate? Currently have paspalum through my kayak/cooch lawn. What can I do apart from straight glyphosate? Pre-emergent program, again, would be my recommendation, mate. So something like some Barricade or some Spartan. End of August. Start of September. It's hard, man, because there's not many products registered for paspalum control. There used to be a product we use in the golf called DSMA Clear, but it's an S7 chemical, and man, I would not be going out and buying that product if you can avoid it because it is intense and quite poisonous as well. So a pre-emergent program would honestly be my recommendation. Pick out the stuff you got there at the moment and then get your pre-emergent down. And you should find you shouldn't have any more germinate through this season. If you can hand pull those ones out or paint them if you'd like to, that would be the way I go. I know it's frustrating and fiddly, but probably one of your best options there. John Wick back again. What would be the best solution to treat algae in a shady area of Kaiku lawn? So I spoke about that a little bit earlier in the stream. So something like some iron sulfate. So something like my enhancer even works really well with that as well. That's what I actually used in my green, as I mentioned before, to get rid of some algae in my golf green, and it worked pretty well. You see it start to die off within 2 to 3 days. What else we got going on here? Woo! You guys are smashing the questions, Cyril. It's awesome. Great to have this many people in here. It's good. Alright, Chris, I've forgotten what you were speaking about. Sorry, mate. Hold up. I'm just trying to get my stream back up here. Where'd it go? All good. I did that, but I ran it through a homemade sieve first. Found a surprising number of rocks in it. Was that for the sand pit you were talking about? Let's scroll back. Oh, I can't find it, sorry, man. What was that? I think you had a different question. It's all good. G'day, Aiden. Welcome, man. Haven't seen you for a while. Hope you're going well. Hey, Ben. I work at one of your reciprocal clubs. We're looking at one of your reciprocal clubs. We're looking at using PGR for our bent greens this coming season. Will this cause thatch? We will need to verticut more regularly. It depends, man. Like, some people think it causes problems with thatch. It can if you don't keep on top of your reapplications. So if you're not constantly reapplying. If you are using something like plant growth regulator though, I'd probably recommend doing more verticutting, because it is going to make your surface a lot more tight knit and appear a little bit more spongy as well, because it's going to get so dense. I don't know if it increases your thatch per se, but it does make your turf a lot denser and seem a little bit more fluffy and spongy, if you know what I mean. So I would recommend verticutting as well if you can. I mean, if you can do it, just rip over it quickly and do it once a month even. Honestly, that would be the go. I mean, I think even fortnightly is not a bad idea, because you get a nice pure surface when you're using your PGR and grooming pretty often as well. You'll find your greens will just be running slick as. Something that I'm really actually keen to be doing this season is regular grooming, chucking out the plant growth regulator as well on the bent grass down there, and just showing you guys how it runs differently. I still want to get a greens roller down there. I think that would be great. I had been, as I spoke about to you guys about last week, I've been chatting with the guys at True Turf, just trying to find something second hand. I don't really want to pay for a brand newie for one golf green. If I had a golf course, it'd be a different story, but there's one green down there. G'day, Grunt Hunter. Welcome, man. Love the name. Alright, have you tried or heard of reviews of the Ryobi Scarifier? Thinking of getting one and doing a reno on the kayak, and hasn't been touched for about 3 years since I laid it. Yeah, I've heard they're good, man. I mean, you're going to rip through some batteries if you haven't done it for years, but I've heard they're pretty good. I mean, you get what you pay for, so they're cheap, but they're good for how cheap they are, if that makes sense. But they're not as good as something like a 46 Scott Bonner, which is old school, or even the new Protea Scarifiers, or even the MoMaster ones. Lots of brands out there. Ben, answer your emails. I've been on them today. I've been smashing the emails out today, so if you sent one before today, I'll be onto it soon. What's the easiest way to bring soil pH down? Hard question, man. You can use stuff like sulfur, ammonium sulfate to help bring it down over time. It's going to take a long time though. You can get in a program. You can also use organic top dressers. So if you top dress with organic material, like stuff that's just rich in organics. I used to use a product called Nitro Top Dress back in the day from A&L, which had quite a lot of organics in there as well. Not a bad way to bring it down as well, but normally sulfur is probably the easiest way, but it still takes a long time. Always easier to get your pH to go up, a lot harder to get it to come down. But hey, Matthew Reedy, hope you're well, mate. Haven't heard from you from ages, mate. Good to have you in here. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Loving the green. Loving it. Aiden, what's your best tip for me? I have Sir Walter lawn, but have a cheap lawn care budget. I have weeds and winter grass poison, but that's about it. It's gone really brown this winter. Well, it depends on the season, man. I mean, if you've had frosts, tons and tons of frosts, and just a season that hasn't been great, it's sort of hard to avoid. I mean, the biggest thing for you, mate, mow regularly, like 1 to 2 times a week. 2 times a week, I'd probably recommend. Again, water the lawn properly. And from there, I'd probably opt for getting probably a liquid fertilizer, something like my Lawn Tips mix, because it's got a nice balanced NPK with some organics and some microbes in there. and applying it once every 4 to 6 weeks. And that would honestly be enough for you. If you want to get on top of your weeds, I mean, if you got wintergrass poison, have you got lots of wintergrass? That's the question. If you don't, I mean, you're probably not going to be able to use that for much else, depending on what herbicide it is. Like if it's Power Check, you're only really going to be knocking down something like Power. But yeah, it just depends, mate. If you want to be weed free all year round, I'd highly recommend looking at a pre-emergent instead of going down the post-emergent thing. But then again, it is going to cost you a little bit of money as well. But the main things, if I had to choose between a couple of products, I'd go a liquid fertilizer with a balanced NPK. I'd go a pre-emergent to get on top of your weeds, so you don't really have to think too much about heaps and heaps of herbicides to get all these different weeds. And then I'd look at just mowing and watering. That would be my main tips for you, mate. Hopefully that helps out. Is sea salt good for Sir Walter Turf? Yeah, mate, for sure. 100%. Sea salt, it is great. Liquid kelp, it works well. It's not a fertilizer though, just be aware. It's just really going to help with root stimulation. Just like any liquid kelp, it's not going to like help your lawn grow, I guess. It's going to condition your soil and promote a little bit of root stimulation as well. But it's not going to push growth and colour. It's quite a big misconception actually about sea salt and liquid kelps in general. People say just chuck some sea salt out and she'll be sweet. It's not a fertilizer, just so you know. When is the best time to throw out some kikuyu seed in Melbourne? In Melbourne, I'd be waiting until October long weekend, mate, to be honest, just so you got good soil temps. Because if you do it too early, it's just going to sit there and you're going to be watering something and it won't come up. So definitely wait until it gets a smidge warmer. Nick, what's going on, man? Yo, mate, what up? Thanks for... I haven't said that for a while. Thank you for making my evenings after putting 3 kids to bed so much more enjoyable. Thanks, mate. I appreciate it. Glad you're enjoying it. Hope the kids have a good sleep for you tonight. Relatable. We've got 4 kids. They're good fun. I've got a green layout similar to yours and was thinking about building a small fairway around the green. But just wondering, what's the best way of applying plugs? I do have a rotary digger. So you mean plugs as in you want to plug out the fairway? You can do that for sure, mate. So I would 100% loosen up the soil. You basically prep it like you would for any area, even like if it's for something like turf as well. I just make sure that you space them nice and evenly apart. You know what? Let's go on YouTube. Let's go on Brenton's channel. So if you guys don't know, the Aussie Lawn, Brenton has got a lot of videos on plugging areas, just so you guys know. So let's bring this screen up. Here we go. Let's turn this off. So we've got Brenton's channel here. Make sure you guys check out Brenton as well. He's taking a break on YouTube at the moment because he's working a full-time job at the mines. But he has done a series, if we go to his videos, he's done a series here on plugging out areas with some zoysia. He's done some zoysia and he's also done, see, I was watching some Peter Finch over here, some golf stuff. I don't know where it is, man. There's a series here where, Brenton, tell me where it is if you're watching. I doubt you are. Send me a message with a link to it. Where are we, Brenton? Tell me, my guy. I think we're a bit further back. Man, I can't remember how far back it was. Brenton, where is it, brother? Here we go. Look at this.
Righto, so I got a special guest turning up in 2 days' time, so I thought we'd better just do a quick tidy up. Obviously, Ben's coming over on the weekend.
I did not know that was for me. That's funny as. Alright, so he's got an area here, as you can see, where he's been plugging out. It's heaps more intense than this now, but he's been plugging out areas and letting them fill in. So you can see he's taking plugs out, marked them out, nice and OCD-like. What a man. And he's been extending parts of his green because he's actually looking at putting in zoysia, where I'm pretty sure you got Tiff Dwarf, man. Or is it, no, you wanted to put Tiff Dwarf in, but you changed it. It's originally Sienna Anna. So yeah, check out Brenton's channel because he's got lots of videos on plugging and how to get plugged areas to fill in. And I'll show you how much he's actually got. Where's one where he's done an update on his plugs? Oh, Brenton, you just got too many videos, Mo. I can't remember where it is now. Let's see. Let's see, my guys. Chuck a like there, be a good bloke. So here we go. Look at this in the background here. So you see this here? Look how much of those plugs are filled in. And a lot of that zoysia up this top end here as well. Man, he's been smashing it. So he's been doing these plugs. He's got this this stuff here so the dog doesn't get into the area. But if you want to learn about plugging, Brenton has done a lot more content than I have. So make sure you guys check out his channel, The Aussie Lawn, here on YouTube. Hopefully that answered your question. I just thought I'd give you a visual example so you got an idea. Scott, how is Josh's Tiff Tuff travelling? Has he had more luck than with the Kentucky Bluegrass? Yeah, Josh's Tiff Tuff's looking good, man. I need to get some photos for you. Obviously, it's dormant at the moment because it's winter time. But I had a photo on my phone. I wonder if I can find it. Josh, can you send me a photo of your Tiff Tuff if you're watching? You're probably not watching. But I did have a photo on my phone from ages ago. No, I'm not going to be able to find it. There's that many grass pictures on my phone. There's no way I'm going to be able to find it. But it's looking good. It's looking good. Ben Duncan. Hey, Ben, can you run us through a quick reno guide? Core, dethatch, pre-emergent, liquid fert, and top dress. I'm going to hit the Kaiku with Monument at some time also. So I won't run through it all now because it will actually take me a long time because I tend to blab a lot when it comes to talking about renovations. But I've got tons and tons of videos on YouTube. I've even got, if you just go lawn renovation, you'll see some of my videos pop up there. But I've also got a blog on my website as well. So if we jump on my website, we can jump across to blogs up the top here. So we've got spring lawn renovation. I'm starting to add some more articles to here over time as well. But I've got a simple step-out process of everything. So scalping, core aeration, scarify if you can, top dress, fertilize, pre-emergent and insecticide treatment you can time after you've done your renovation. Some guys like to do it before. Some guys like to do it once it's recovered. Personally, over the last few years, I've done it before my renovations, and it's actually worked really, really well and had no problems with weeds coming up through afterwards. And then I even talk about how to treat after renovation. When can I go back to normal practices? And I've also got my video here where I discuss a lot. So let's get stuck into this and get it done. Look how small shit is. Oh, he's tiny. Look how small he is. What a dude. Yeah, so I run through everything. This is like a 22-minute video which I talk a lot. That's what I mean. Like, I'm talking about renos, I'll be talking a ton about everything. Yeah, we've even got scarifying in here. My favourite thing to do. Watch this. How satisfying is scarifying. Here we go. Wait for it. Where are we? Where'd it go?
Quite far apart, which is this design. And I'll show you in a minute once we pull something out. Down. So
come on.
Stuff. Let's hit a try and give it a few runs.
Come on, brother.
There we
go.
There we
Love scarifying. One of my favourite things to do. Such a satisfying thing. So yeah, jump on the website and have a look at that, or check out my other videos as well. And I'll have a video coming up soon. I'll be doing a reno towards the end of August on my IQ, so not far off, my guy. Not too far off at all. Yeah. Luke Smith, thank you, man. I appreciate it. We've got Daniel Wilson says, my buffalo is very thatchy. I want to do thatch this spring/summer. Is it going to be best just to mow weekly and drop it a notch each mow? Mate, I'd highly recommend just scalping it down. Don't scalp it back to dirt with buffalo. Be very, very careful. Scalp it back so you've still got leaf showing. So maybe 15, 20 mil. It just depends on what height you're currently cutting at. And it depends if you're using a cylinder mower or a rotary mower. But just cut it back so there's still some green leaf showing on it. But you want to get a lot of that dead material out of there. You could rake some out of it as well if you'd like to. But yeah, I would definitely recommend just doing it in one hit instead of dropping it down bit by bit. Might as well just smash it out. Give it a good feed afterwards with something with some high nitrogen, and you will kick it back into gear pretty quickly once the temperatures start to warm up. Alright, what else we got going here? Lots of questions. Sorry if I miss your question too, guys. I'm trying to get through them. Hopefully I answer most of your questions. Can you see Schnitty in the background too, just chilling? Having a little bit of a sleep. He's out of it. Okay, Ben Foley, are you and Lawns in Good Nick going to do something together this spring? We had chatted about doing something. We live a fair distance away from each other though, so we'll have to figure out what we could do. I'm not 100% sure. Hopefully we can do something in the very near future. I think that would be awesome to meet up with old Nicky boy. Hope you like being called that, mate. Right. I've been putting out some fertilizers on the lawn. There has been heavy rain and winds, and in 5 days the product has made no effect. Safe to reapply. Yeah, definitely safe to reapply, man. If you're getting heavy rain, there's a good chance that you're probably not going to get many results out of it, unfortunately, which is a bit of a bummer, my guy. But yeah, put out some more. I mean, if your lawn is brown, you're not going to get much results out of it because it's not actively growing or it's got no growth. But if you are getting a bit of growth, you're mowing every now and then, you've got some colour in there still, you are going to get a kick out of your fertiliser. Something I'd always like to say is, yeah, if your lawn isn't green and it's not growing, don't do anything to it. Spray the weeds, obviously, if you can, but you're not going to have to mow. You're not going to have to water it. Definitely don't fertilise it because you're going to be wasting some product as well. Jason, looking at getting rid of my buffalo and replacing it with something else. What would you recommend after a good-looking practical lawn for the kids located in Canberra? Good question, man. I mean, if you want something that's good with the kids, I would have said tall fescue because tall fescue goes well in Canberra. Or they've even got a Canberra blend they sell, which I think is ryegrass and fescue, or it might be Kentucky bluegrass. But I always used to find fescue a little bit itchy and stabs you. If it was me, I'd probably go couch grass, but just be aware that it is going to be brown in the winter time. So it can, if you got pets or something, it can get a little bit muddy and a little bit of wear and tear if the kids are out there all the time. But yeah, personally, I'd probably go because it'd be pure. It'll be pure in the summertime. Wintertime, it's not so crash hot, but hey, it's a bit hard to get outside in wintertime in Canberra. I know how cold it gets there. JM, I have awful dog spot issues in my lawn. How do you not have this on your green when your pooch is running free? It's funny, Schnitty, I don't know what he does. I don't know where he goes to the toilet. He's very embarrassed about going on the toilet, so he does it away in a corner somewhere. I don't even know where he poos, to be honest. He poos somewhere, but I have no idea where it is. He must run off in a corner, so I never see it. So that's why I don't have a problem, because Schnitty's got so much area to run as well. We've got 12 acres here, so he's got lots and lots of space to run around and do his poos. But I don't have much advice for you, sorry, mate. It's a hard thing, man. You really got to look at using lower nitrogen fertilizers, so liquids would probably be the go, and not using high nitrogen granular fertilizers. Just because when they wee, they've got a bit of nitrogen in their whiz, and so if you're putting fertilizer out regularly as well, it's just going to be an excessive amount of nitrogen in the lawn, and that's why you get those nasty patches. I mean, if you could train them to go in an area other than your lawn, you can try. I tried that when I was in town. We actually had a blue healer. I don't know why we had a blue healer in town, because that thing had so much energy. And I used to go for runs all the time, and he still was just like, wee, just going crazy. But yeah, train them to go somewhere else if you can. I used to actually dilute the areas the dog used to go to the toilet, because he used to go in similar spots with some water at night. I was just pedantic with it, and it did work. And I cut back to liquids mostly, and it did help as well. But it's sort of an ongoing battle. If you got a dog and it goes to the toilet outside, that's what it does. Unfortunately, there's no easy answer for it. Damien says, Canberra blend has far too much clover usually. Really? Didn't know that. It's good to know. Personally, Cooch, Santa Ana's probably the way in my view, yeah. Same thing, I'd personally go some Cooch grass. What are you saying, Luke? I reckon Nick would drive all the way up just to give you a big cuddle. Oh, I'd love that. That'd be great. And maybe mow the lawn. Mate, he'd be welcome. He'd be welcome. As long as he doesn't stuff it up, he'll be sweet. Scott, keen on the upcoming grooming vids. Always get way too carried away when I do it and go too low. Would be great to know how to do it properly. Awesome, man. So yeah, grooming, it's not like scarifying. You just want to nick a little bit of it. After killing my perennial ryegrass with Roundup, is there any specific... Sorry, my streaming software just cut out for a second then. I'll wait for it to load back up. Okay, after killing my perennial ryegrass with Roundup, is there anything specific that I need to do before I seed Kentucky bluegrass plus perennial ryegrass? Do I need to completely remove the clunks of the existing dead ryegrass? I would recommend you do, if you can, just to make it... Oh, no, you don't really have to, man. Honestly, you could sow into that and top dress over top and it's not going to be a problem. Unless it's making it really uneven and clumpy and undulating. That's the only reason I pull it out. But you're actually probably going to get better germination with some dead grass in there. So why not? I reckon you can do it. I always sowed over dead grass whenever we had drought that one year and I had to sink the bore. Let's bring that video up. Let's just do it for the fun of it, eh? Let's get on YouTube. Let's go to my channel. I don't know if you guys are only new to the channel. I started doing YouTube in town. My yard was about 400 square meters of grass. We had more yard than house. I loved that place, man. It was so much fun. Let's scroll through my videos here. And I'll show you guys. Here you go. Here's my place in town. The mems. I'm trying to look for when we had that drought and I had to sink a bore and the lawn was the worst it ever was. It was heartbreaking, man. How far back was it? Here we go. That's when we sunk the bore. So this is the renovation we did. So, let me show you. Have a look at that front lawn in the background there. Wow, it's dead. Man. So it got pretty nasty. This is here's the backyard. So as you can see, I core aerated. That's how dead it was at one point. And I sowed grass basically into that. And top dressed and started watering. So you're not going to have a problem doing that, mate. Not going to be a problem. And the results about how many weeks later will we be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, it depends. Here's my day 26, so nearly a month later. This is how it looks.
Look at that. Really thickened up. And it's going to keep thickening up more.
So you can see it's getting very nice looking. So, ready, 3, 2, 1. Look at that. Looking pretty good compared to that big, dead, nasty looking area that we had before. Man, the kids look young there. Whew, look at Andy. Yeah, and that's me obviously top dressing and overseeding again. So with ryegrass too, be aware that you do need to overseed probably 2 to 3 times just to really make sure you're on top of bare spots, because it is very, very common to get bare spots like that. Is my mic cutting in and out, guys? Emma just sent me a message saying that my mic's cutting in and out. Let me know in the comments if it's cutting out for you. Hopefully it's not. We got any comments about it? Let me know in the comments below if you guys get anything cut out. I might actually cut back my quality. Not for me. Cool. Good to know, Aiden. Appreciate that. Oh, you guys can see that now. That's my it's my settings there for my stream. All good? Not for me. Cool. Good to know. Need to sort the Wi-Fi out, Emma. It's probably because I'm streaming and you're on the same Wi-Fi as well. Oh, it is cutting out. Was cutting out. Sound is fine. Okay, so it was cutting out for a bit. Hopefully it's good now. It's all good. I think the internet's been a little bit slow over the last little bit. We've got old Starlink. Anyway, yeah, I used to love this lawn. I used to love just the pure ryegrass, but I am having so much more fun at the moment out on the golf green.
Get the scent. I didn't get the scent that much.
Do you guys remember the old Tiff Tuff putting green too? Out the front of the house? Woo. Classic. The memes. Anyway, let's come back here. Right, let's go back to your questions. Is it still cutting out, Emma? You let me know. All good now. Cool. Good to know. All right. We've got just incredible. What ratio do I use with the seeds mixing Kentucky bluegrass and perennial ryegrass? Just go half-half. You can do whatever you like, man. I know a lot of guys go like 70% ryegrass, 30% Kentucky bluegrass, because the Kentucky bluegrass will creep and take over a lot of areas. And because the Kentucky bluegrass takes so long to germinate, like it can take up to 40 days. 21 days, for it to germinate. I'm thinking of zoysia. It can take 21 days to germinate, whereas ryegrass is going to take 5 days. So if you can get as much ryegrass going at the start as you can to stop erosion and seed washing away if you get some storms or you're watering too much, I would recommend, putting a higher rate of perennial ryegrass so your Kentucky bluegrass has a really good chance of coming in. All right, we're going to wrap the stream up soon. We'll give it another 5 to 10 minutes. So make sure you guys get your questions in. And we'll get it done. All right, we've got Stephen here. He says, "Hey Ben, I'm tempted to start renovating my front lawn in Victorian winter with cooch seed as my back lawn is Santa Ana. Is it okay to start now, or should I be patient and wait till October?" I'd wait till October, man. Otherwise, if you're putting cooch seed out now, your soil temps are just way too low for that cooch seed to actually germinate. Even if it did germinate, it's really going to struggle, and it's just going to sit there and not grow. Cooch needs really, really warm soil temps and even warm air temperature to get it kicking along and growing nicely. All right, a couple more questions. Gus, hey mate, do you recommend mowing bentgrass in a high frost area? Moving bentgrass? Do you recommend moving bentgrass in a high frost area in South Australia? Or using, maybe it's going to say using. Bentgrass would go well where you are. Just be aware it's a home lawn. It's a little bit hit and miss, only because it's got a higher chance of disease, requires quite a lot more water as well. Very, very finicky type of grass. Doesn't handle quite as many herbicides as well. If it was me choosing it for a home lawn, you don't have all the time in the world to be maintaining it, looking after it. I'd probably steer clear, to be honest. I'd probably look at something like cooch grass, man, to be honest. Cooch would be one of my favourite types of grass. It's just the way it is. It's just aggressive stuff. Looks pure when you get it nice and short. I mean, when I had the old Tiff Tuff in town, I loved it when it was looking pure. I used to love working on cooch fairways. It's just a dream, man. It is good. Let's see if I can find any videos of the Tiff Tuff when it looked good. I had issues with it for a long time because of shade and stuff. And then I oversowed with the Benton ryegrass, and then that stunted it as well for a long time. But it is beautiful stuff. It is beautiful stuff. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a video with the cooch and how it looked. Here we go. This is what it used to look like. So another video again. This is what the cooch used to look like. It's just beautiful stuff, man. Such beautiful stuff. Love a good edge. Bruh, look at the colour. What time of year was this? This was 2 years ago. April. So it's starting to cool off here too. Yeah, it does look so good. Brother. And that looks like it hasn't had fert for a while too. I have no doubt I'll probably put fertiliser out in this video. How much do we want to bet? Oh, I didn't. I mean, still, look at the ryegrass in contrast. Ready? Boom. It's crazy. Just the colour on ryegrass, man, is something different. But how that honestly looks so schmick and so pure. Andre says, wintergreen turf, is it as good as Tiff Tuff and Tahoma? Man, it's going to be fine. Tiff Tuff is good with water. Does grow a bit more aggressively. Tahoma 31, I don't have much experience with it, but has nice colour from what I've heard, and it is also, I think there's a few guys using it on even golf courses on greens. But it's a nice hybrid cooch on top of that as well, but wintergreen is also really, really nice on top of that. But yeah, look at even the cooch here compared to like just the colour of kike. It just has that. It has quite a bit of a darker green colour and doesn't get that limey look. You know what I mean? That's why I love cooch. You Americans would be laughing your heads off at what we're talking about right now. It wouldn't sound right. Sam Duncan says, "Hey Ben, what are your thoughts on Zoysia, mate? I love the look of Zoysia. I love the fine looking leaf on it. Actually getting some here for home. I've actually got some Primo Zoysia. A little pot that Brenton gave me from the guys at Lawn Solutions out the back there. I should really show you guys that. It's really nice grass, like such a fine leaf. Slow growing, so you don't need to put as many inputs into it as well. Don't have to mow it as regularly. Really, really cool. Really cool. What are we saying here? We have been cutting our bent grass greens twice daily due to a tournament, and they are looking pure. Love it, man. So good. I love greens when they're running slick. They just look so good too. Excuse me. Would you cut the greens daily or twice daily in orange? Yeah, when we used to cut. Well, we used to do double cuts, so we didn't cut like in the morning and then the afternoon. We used to just cut once. We would do a double cut in the morning during the growing season, daily for sure. So we go Monday through to Saturday, sometimes Sunday, depending on what tournaments we're on. We try to have a rest day in the middle there somewhere, just so we're not doing it all the time. We didn't used to have a roller on the course I was at, so apart from for the bowling green, so I used to use the roller on the bowling green, but generally you'd like to leave a day or two of rest and just roll on the days in between, just to give the greens a little bit of a rest from getting cut all the time, and do a roll in between so you still get that nice pure speed as well. Third time lucky. Tips on getting Sir Walter. Sorry, I missed the other questions, man. Tips on getting Sir Walter looking good in winter. Looks horrible. Depends on where you are, mate. If you're living in a climate where you're getting frosts or temperatures like below 15 degrees during the day, below 5 degrees at night, there's not honestly much you're going to be able to do. You just have to wait it out until springtime. Because this is the time of year that warm season grass, so cooch, kikuyu, buffalo, which Sir Walter buffalo as well, and even zoysia, tend to go to sleep if you're in a climate that's not getting really warm temperatures. So they go into dormancy, they call it. So they go into sleep for the winter. Once our temps start to warm up, you're going to find some colour will start to come back in, and it's going to look nice. Yeah, that's the one thing that sucks if you're in a climate that's a little bit cooler. This time of year, not much going on with your grass, and it can look nasty. Amar says, what grass should I put after I rip out my buffalo? Man, again, I would look at some cooch grass or some zoysia. That would be the way that I'd be going. We'll be talking about cooch grass in my video just here, actually, and this is what cooch grass can look like. It's this stuff just here, so I love it. I do love cooch. That's some kikuyu. In saying that, it's not kikuyu that's getting regularly mowed, and it's not getting any fertilizer or anything as well. It's just your standard run-of-the-mill kike. Oh no, I did put some fertilizer out in this video. I told you I would have, because it looks hungry to me. That lawn just looks like it needs a feed. I told you. Oh, that's funny. Predictable. Alright, we're going to wrap it up. A couple more questions. We'll do 3 more questions, and then we're going to wrap it up. Nick K says, would a kikuyu/cooch grass mix in a lawn look nice? I mean, it can, 100%. Just be aware they are different thickness in the blades, and they can have a slightly different colour to them as well. So, it can look nice. Wouldn't be my go-to though. That's just me being honest. Alright, we've got Peter. Hey Ben, can I apply Heritage Max and Liquid Fert on my Printer ryegrass, which is struggling? Yeah, you can, mate, for sure. 100% you can. It will not be a problem at all. Done it before in the past, and it's not a problem. Alright. We've got Stephen here says, brown top cut height. What's the max height in a lawn so false crown doesn't develop? We're talking about brown top bent. Bent grass, from experience, you can't mow it too tall. Man, I'd be like an inch, or a little bit under an inch. Like, I wouldn't go much taller than that, mate. Or it just starts looking leggy and looking really, really nasty looking. Even an inch, it probably even would start to look a little bit leggy looking as well. I mean, even on the green out at my house, I have some up around towards 20 mil on the surround. Some of the bent that just crept out there. It just does not look as nice when you get it down to that 15, 10, 5, 3 mil. Is that 2 questions? What are you saying, Luke? At your old place, did anyone ever work out where the house was and randomly rock up? Yep, happened a few times. Got some guys on camera. Had got some funny videos of people rolling on the grass, touching the grass, fighting with each other that it was fake. But yeah, we had a few guys pop in. Had a few people message me, and like, I'm always happy to say g'day if you aren't a creeper. But no, yeah, we had a few guys turn up. Ben, how's Schnitty going? He's going good. You can see he's very comfortable back there. I won't wake him up. Stephen, can you recommend a good winter grass killer? Depends on the grass type, man. Something like some Power Check can work for you, but you can only really use that in a select grass types. Like cooch. Swiss is fine. Buffalo's fine. Kaiku is not fine, so you can't use it in Kaiku. Ledge says, love the content, thanks for doing these. No worries, mate, thanks for tuning in, I appreciate it. Really appreciate it. Mason, I'm going good, and I'm about to leave, sorry mate. Sorry if you just tuned in. We're wrapping up in the next minute. But I hope you're well. Are you bringing some of your products to the Lawn Stars Day? So this year I'm not bringing my products because last year I found I just wasn't able to chat to people. I just felt like I was selling product, which I wasn't a fan of. I'd rather be there just to chat to people and just enjoy the day instead of rushing around trying to sell products. I just found it was just a struggle the whole day. So yeah, I'm just going to enjoy the day, enjoy chatting to you guys. So that's coming up on the 9th of September from memory. I should know because it's my son's birthday, which I'll have to make sure I get home at night to celebrate for my little man. Oh, what day is it on? I can't remember now, bro. I don't know. I'll tell you what guy's day it is. Here we go. The date of... So this is in... It's going to be in Sydney at Merino Brewery. I never can say that word. Brewery. I can never say it. But it's Two Forge Place in Narellan on the 9th of September. I remember my son's birthday. There we go. I'm glad I did. But yeah, that's the date there. So Lawn Stars. If you guys want to come and say g'day, make sure you pop in. I'll be there for the whole day. It starts at 12 p.m. on the 9th of September. Love to meet you guys. Alright, last question here. Beer taster brute. Big fella, love your work, mate. Appreciate it, man. Me and the missus are planning on staying at Airbnb one day. You're welcome, man. I'd love to have you here. Hopefully we can meet you for sure. Have a beer and talk grass. Sounds good, mate. I'd look forward to it. Definitely welcome to come and have a chat. Always keen to meet people. Love the videos. Can't wait for the spring reno. Thanks, mate. I'm keen. It's going to be good. I said last question before, but this is going to be the last question. What do you think of? Have you had an experience with Australian native grasses? Not a lot of experience, man. I want to, though. But yeah, I don't really have an answer for that question. Sorry, mate. I don't have a lot of experience, so there's my answer to that. All right, guys. Thanks so much. Thanks for tuning in. I'm planning to do lives as often as I can, at least on a weekly basis at the moment. We'll see how we go. But yeah, appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's stream, and I'll see you for Saturday's video. Looking forward to seeing you then. Bye.